Hello, everyone. Today I want to talk about the tiered instructional implementation system. It's indicator A4.A1, and this is part of our school improvement plan. One of our main topics that we need to discuss about the multi-tiered system. We haven't talked a lot about this because it's not something that our district has started implementing. So the first thing that I do want to say about this is it is expected to be included as something that we are working towards in school improvement. So I would like to challenge you to join in on a discussion about more intensive interventions for all of our children, especially the ones that top 5%, which we know is even more of a percentage than that at our school compared to many other schools, seeing as this is a Title I district. So my main goal is to kind of motivate you to join in, or challenge you, I should say, to join in on important conversations about what we can do as a school to motivate the kids. So that's a big important factor of our school improvement. So as I'm floating around the school, I'm hearing, when we talk about interventions, I'm hearing all of these negative things like, we have so much to do already, or aren't we already doing this? Who is not doing this? And I myself, I'm guilty as well. But I think it's important to look past these issues and ask ourselves some challenging questions, and really look at our data and decide what we can do and what research-based activities we can use, and what are our strengths. Ask yourself, what can I do to help the kids? What can I do to improve the school? Because I think together we can try to really work together to get this situation ironed out. So I have created a presentation just to show you a little bit, or to inform you a little bit more about what we're talking about with school improvement. Indicator A4.A1 says that the school implements a tiered instructional system that allows teachers to deliver evidence-based instruction aligned with the individual needs of the students across all tiers. And I have a little diagram coming up shortly that will explain that more into depth and give you a visual of what all tiers are. So with this in mind, this is just the actual indicator of what it says on IndaStar, our school improvement plan. So moving on, I found this inspirational quote. It really inspired me when I ran across it. It says, "None of us is as smart as all of us." Oftentimes we try to work in isolation, and again, this is a quote by Phil Condit, but I feel like everyone across, not only just on your grade level, but across all grade levels, should share responsibility with the kids. I know I teach second grade, so even though I teach second grade, I still feel like I am emotionally and academically invested in the kids that have moved up to third, fourth, and fifth grade. We all should share responsibility with the kids, or for the kids. So I think we all have the same goal in mind, and I think it's very important that we motivate each other to try to pull the school up as a whole and really look at this data and interpret it and decide on what we can do to reach our ultimate goal. And we have stated in all kinds of PLC meetings what our goal is, and we want to pull ourselves out of being a low performing school. We want to try to change that, and I think by really looking at and us all pulling ourselves together and all being invested in this, that that we can really do this together. I think we have an awesome team. Okay, so this is just our current level of implementation for the instructional system. We did put that this is limited development because we're not fully implementing this plan. However, we did say that it's a high priority. So because it's a high priority, I mean, of course this would be a high priority that we want to hit every student and make sure that we are using that evidence-based instruction and aligning it with the individual needs of the kids. I think that's an important, that's some key words there, individual needs across all tiers. Now, we did say that this requires changes in current policy and budget. Well, we don't have the MTSS policy adopted in our county yet, but I think it is coming in the next couple of years. And of course, we need more budget. We need to change our budget conditions. Maybe we need a reading interventionist teacher. Maybe we need a full-time guidance counselor to work with the behavior aspect of these kids that make up the intensive tier. So right now, our current development is that our teachers schedule 40 minutes of interventions each day. Daily interventions are designed to reteach skills for struggling students. Our full-time exceptional teacher, children's teacher provides additional support through a program tailored to meet the needs of the kids who are below grade level. Teacher assistants, we know we have what we call flooding, where they push in and with the leveled groups for additional guided reading, and we're going to work on doing that in math as well, as we've discussed. So, and we have all kinds of support staff and volunteers who also provide additional help for intervention periods. So our current status is pretty limited, but I think even though we don't have the MTSS, the actual system in place, I think we can work with what we have and move that on into school improvement. This is more of an explanation about the tiered system. The evidence suggests that the locus of control in a multi-tiered system of support is on classroom instruction, and schools must ensure that each of its teachers is faithfully implementing effective teaching practices. And I think that's the key word there. I think that we really need to make sure that we are faithfully implementing these effective practices, that they're explicit, that they're really going on. With a focus on student response to instructional practices. Okay, we need to look at our data as opposed to student deficits or failures. Oftentimes we try to say, you know, this child comes from this type of lifestyle, or this child hasn't made it any, has always been behind. I think we need to look at what we are doing now and where we could go from here. I think we need to focus on what we can do now and how can we get this specific child to reach their individual goal. Then schools improve the success rates of struggling students and have the accuracy of identifying students who truly have disabilities. So we need to make sure that we also look at our data and look at our test scores, that we communicate well with our EC teachers and all of our support staff to discuss ways to intervene kids that have disabilities. What can we expect out of them? These are all challenging questions that we must ask ourselves and learn more about. And we need to make important decisions on these students and what are our short-term goals, what are our long-term goals for these kids, and how this will show up on our school report card years to come. If what we're doing now will improve our scores, and how will they improve our scores? So this is a MTSS model, and it shows that behavior and academics is a factor. It plays an important role of how all of this fits together. I really like this triangle diagram here where it shows core support That's your core instruction of 80 to 90%. And then we have the kids on the 5 to 10% needs supplemental support. And then, of course, the top red percent is the 1 to 5% of intensive support. Those students need intensive support. So, and this is just a school model, and this is provided by the DPI website. You can just log on and they have all kinds of resources. I grabbed this off of IndoStar through the DPI website to better explain the tier, just to give you a visual on the tiered system. Think about which students you have, who would fit in to this triangle here. And this is numbers 2, 3, and 4. Okay, and a lot of this we are already doing. We have diagnostic tests that places the students in the tier. And then we have individualized intensive instruction, such as small group and differentiated. We put that in our implementation. And we also have progress monitor to look and see to see where the students are going, if whatever we're doing in the classroom is working. So that's why it's very important to monitor your students' progress. I think our big question is what we're doing working in the classroom? What can we do to provide more instruction as a school? And like I said previously, we kind of get down and out because we think, well, I've done all I can do. And I think if we really analyze our data and we really ask ourselves the tough questions, it will become easier for us to figure out what we need to do in the future. And I think that we have a lot of strong teachers here that can help. Here are some important questions, and this is coming from the Wise Ways on indostar.org, our school improvement website. How do we have difficult conversations around instructional quality and necessary changes? So many times we're just going through the motions of the day, but really we need to ask ourselves these difficult questions on, is the instruction that I'm delivering, is it quality? Do I need to make changes within this instruction? Have I looked at my progress monitoring data to ensure that they are making the adequate growth to achieve our goals? What plans and structures are in place to ensure alignment of instructional strategies and approaches? I love that question. Again, what plans and structures are in place to ensure alignment of instructional strategies? What are we doing to make sure that we're getting them to where they need to be, the kids or the students? What sources of training and professional development are available for teachers who may be struggling themselves? We really need to reflect on our instructional practices and decide, is what I'm doing working? I mean, that's really the main question here. And if not, where can I go and find information to help me? We do need to maybe have a survey or ask or talk to our district professionals about a type of professional development that you feel or that you need work on. Can we learn from our mistakes? It's very important that we learn from our mistakes. I might have a child that I've worked on for 10 days straight in one skill, and I progress monitor and they're not there yet. They didn't meet the expected goal. I need to reflect on my practice and look and see what can I do differently that could help the child reach their goal in the next 10 days. These are the things that we need to be analyzing in PLCs and instead of focusing on how horrible the child is, or they're never going to get it, or I really believe that we have strong teachers and that we can learn from our mistakes and we can have these professional conversations with ourselves that can help move the kids and bring us out of low performance status. What can we do? I think this is one of the most important slides. Think about your strengths as a teacher. We are very strong. We have teachers who have a wealth of knowledge. Many of you also, we have teachers who have master's degrees or in curriculum instruction. We really need to hone in on these skills that we have. Think about your strength. I mean, my strength may be comprehension, whereas another second grade teacher's strength may be fluency. This teacher's strength may be phonemic awareness, teaching phonics. Your strength in the upper grades may be fractions, while another teacher may be better at something else. So we really need to take those strengths after we analyze that data and say, hey, I'm good at teaching that. My kids are getting it. And we need to separate these kids and put them with the teacher that best fits that description of their strength. Review your schedule. See if one teacher can take this child, or and work with them. We might need to get these kids up and moving within the school and take full responsibility of each child. Analyze student data to pinpoint student needs. We really need to look at that data so we can pinpoint what our school needs. What does the intensive tier of kids, what are they lacking on? Is it something common that we're overlooking within our school? What can we do for our core support to really, really make that more rigorous and drive that point home? Let's research the best strategies to gain student mastery. I think it's important to stay abreast of all research. And then put the practice into play. So actually focusing and actually doing the things discussed in our PLC group, and try to make not only a positive impact for the kids, but a positive impact on ourselves. We're going to feel so much more empowered if we know that we are moving the kids, and we're going to just feel so much more professional knowing that we are moving the students. And looking at the big picture, I think it's important to focus on what did we learn with this, looking at this big idea. I really like this visual because it says it's got a graduation hat and it says, I did it. That's the feeling that we want to have, as well as the students. They want to have the feeling like, I had a teacher that cared, because we all care. I had a teacher who cared about me. I got where I needed to be. My teacher was passionate. And we want to feel that way with the kids. So I think that we all have the same goals in mind for our students. I think we are very good teachers, and I think that we can do this. I think we can cut out the negativity, and we can really work together to get the kids to achieve what we need them to achieve. Thank you so much for listening. I hope that this will make you feel more motivated to research better practices for interventions, and for us to really, at our next school improvement team meeting, take a look at indicator A4.01 and see, even though we don't have these strategies in place, let's take a look and make sure that we're doing all we can with what we have. Because I know we can do it. I know that we can get these kids moving in a positive direction. So thank you for letting me share this with you today, and have a good weekend. Thank you. Bye-bye.